Muscle car fans, get ready, because what you're about to see might just change the game forever. The legendary Plymouth Cuda, a name that once ruled American streets, is making a comeback for 2026. And it's not just a re-release, it's a full-blown rebirth. Packed with raw power, modern tech, and a design that screams attitude, this isn't your grandfather's Cuda. But does it truly live up to the legend? Or is it just hype? Let's find out. The name Plymouth Cuda has always carried serious weight in American muscle car history. First roaring onto the scene in the late 1960s, the Cuda wasn't just another car, it was a street icon, the kind of machine that turned heads and dominated drag strips. Fast forward to today, and Chrysler has decided it's time to bring that legend back to life for a whole new generation. Enter the 2026 Plymouth Cuda 440, a car designed to fuse raw, old-school muscle with the kind of modern innovation drivers demand in today's market. Now, this isn't just a nostalgic throwback or a design exercise for collectors. The new Cuda is targeting a broad spectrum of enthusiasts, from die-hard gearheads who crave that V8 rumble, to younger drivers who want cutting-edge tech wrapped inside an unmistakably bold package. What makes this launch even more significant is the timing. With so many performance brands leaning toward electrification, Plymouth's decision to come back with a full-power muscle car says a lot about where the brand wants to stand. But here's the real question. Does the 2026 Cuda strike the perfect balance between heritage and progress? Or is it trying too hard to cash in on nostalgia? In just a moment, we're diving deep into its design, features, and performance to see if it truly earns its legendary badge. Now let's get into what really matters. What makes the 2026 Plymouth Cuda 440 such a big deal? At first glance, the design alone makes a bold statement. Wide, low, and muscular, the body lines immediately pay tribute to the original Cuda, but with sharper edges and modern aerodynamics. The front fascia is aggressive, with a massive grille flanked by sleek LED headlights that almost look like they're glaring at you. Move around to the side, and those flared fenders and deep-cut body panels remind you this car isn't here to blend in. It's here to dominate. Step inside, and the theme continues. The cabin is unapologetically driver-focused, combining retro-inspired touches with modern luxury. Think sculpted sports seats wrapped in leather and suede, an updated pistol grip shifter, and digital displays that give you every bit of info you could want without feeling cluttered. It's the kind of interior that feels both nostalgic and futuristic, almost like Plymouth built it with two generations in mind, the classic purist and the modern enthusiast. But of course, the real firepower is under the hood. Plymouth didn't play it safe here. The 2026 Cuda 440 packs a naturally aspirated V8 pushing out over 500 horsepower, paired with an updated suspension system that keeps the ride surprisingly composed. This isn't just brute force. It's controlled aggression. Launch it off the line, and the acceleration pins you to your seat, yet it still feels planted through corners, a balance not every muscle car manages to achieve. Technology hasn't been ignored either. The Cuda comes with adaptive driving modes, a high-resolution infotainment system with wireless everything, and a safety suite that finally brings this legend up to modern standards. It's not trying to be a tech-heavy luxury cruiser like a Tesla, but it offers just enough convenience to make daily driving practical. Of course, no car is perfect. While the performance is thrilling, fuel economy is exactly what you'd expect from a V8, far from efficient. The rear seats are more symbolic than functional, and the trunk space won't win any awards either. It's clear Plymouth wanted to stay true to the muscle car ethos. Power first, practicality second, and here's where things get really interesting. While the Cuda brings back that nostalgic rumble and raw power, Plymouth has hinted at a possible hybrid or even electric variant down the line. Imagine the same aggressive stance, but with instant EV torque. Will that dilute the legend or redefine it for the next era? Stick around, because in the next section we'll break down the key highlights and drawbacks of this car in even more detail, including one surprising limitation that might just change how you see the Cuda 440. And then comes the moment of truth, the real-world test. On paper, the 2026 Plymouth Cuda 440 promises pure muscle, but numbers alone don't tell the story. The instant you hit the throttle, the car roars to life with a sound that feels less like an engine and more like a battle cry. 0 to 60 comes in just under 4 seconds. And it doesn't just sprint. It surges forward with the kind of brute force that leaves you gripping the wheel tighter than you expected. Through the corners, the surprise is even greater. Muscle cars of the past were notorious for straight-line speed but clumsy handling. The new Cuda flips that script. The updated suspension and chassis tuning give it a confidence you don't normally associate with raw American muscle. It feels planted, sharp, and almost eager to take on the bends. For the first time, you don't just want to drag race this car, you want to carve up back roads with it. But here's where expectations get challenged. While the performance thrills, it comes at a cost. The cabin noise at high revs is relentless. Fuel efficiency dips into the single digits when you push it. And the ride is firm enough to remind you this is no cushy daily driver. In other words, Plymouth has stayed unapologetically true to muscle car DNA. Power first, compromise later. So, does the 2026 Cuda 440 live up to its legendary nameplate? In many ways, yes. It redefines what a modern muscle car can be. But is it flawless? Not even close. And it's in that tension between the legend Reborn and the modern demands that the real story of this car comes alive. Which brings us to the final question. Is this the muscle car worth buying in 2026? So, after putting the 2026 Plymouth Cuda 440 through its paces, where does it really stand? Simply put, this car is a bold reminder that the spirit of American muscle is far from gone. It's loud, unapologetic, and overflowing with character in a market where many performance cars are moving towards silence and electrification. For enthusiasts who crave raw horsepower, retro-inspired design, and that visceral driving thrill, the Cuda delivers in a way few modern vehicles can. The pros are undeniable. Jaw-dropping acceleration, aggressive styling that turns heads anywhere, and handling that finally brings the muscle car formula into the 21st century. The interior blends nostalgia with just enough tech to keep it practical, and the overall presence of the car makes it feel like an instant classic, but it's not without drawbacks. Fuel economy is predictably poor, rear seat space is more symbolic than useful, and the ride can be harsh if you're expecting daily comfort. It's not the car for someone who wants efficiency, luxury, or subtlety. It's a car for drivers who want every mile to feel like a statement. In the bigger picture, the return of the Cuda represents something more than just a single launch. It shows there's still room in the US market for bold, heritage-driven performance cars, even as the industry shifts toward EVs and hybrids. It's a balancing act, celebrating the past while cautiously eyeing the future. So, is the 2026 Plymouth Cuda 440 the ultimate muscle car of our time? That depends on what you value most. If you want brute force wrapped in a legend skin, this is your car. If you want practicality, you'll need to look elsewhere. But now I want to hear from you. Does the new Cuda live up to the legend, or is it riding on nostalgia? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed the review, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the cars shaping tomorrow's roads.